organization is really very important towards the development of people. One little farmer alone doesn't have any strength at all, but when we get organized. And I even saw during the time of my father, when I was a child, we didn't have electricity on the farm when I was a child, till maybe we were 9 years old. But I saw my father organize the farmers around. They used to come to the house with their horses in winter and tie. I remember that. You know, I didn't participate in it. I was just. But I saw that as a result of their getting organized, we finally got electricity, which was a very great thing. You get electricity, wow, a light, you know, and all the development that comes with electricity and things like that. So part of my motivation comes from there, to see that when you organize, you can develop things together. People need to organize. And so, well, I grew up sort of like in that environment, and I had the chance to come to Bolivia here. At that time it was, I came here as a priest at that moment. Okay. As a missionary who was, and when I came here, the people I was with were very involved with the people in the rural areas where my first mission was way out in the rural areas in Oruro, and with the people, and I saw the suffering of the people. And so I just worked with them basically all of the years that I was here in Bolivia, and saw that when we organize, we can make a difference. Really take the time to listen to the campesinos, or to the people that you want to work with. Really take the time and find those people who want to do something, who have an idea, and maybe help them develop that idea, because that will become a catalyst in the community, and others will want to develop their ideas as well. As far as I'm concerned, it's okay to have community meetings and listen to everybody, but that's not necessarily the time when those people who have an idea that they want to develop that would be really good for the community, they might not necessarily share it in a community meeting, you know? So there needs to be, I would say, a balance between, let's say, working as a community and helping one another and getting organized, as well as developing the entrepreneurial spirit of people, you know, because it's those people who have these spirits who sometimes are the ones that help cover the gap to the next generation, or to the new things that need to be developed. And so I would say, well, gee, people like yourselves, people who have had the chance to study, well, see how we can use this technology, this science, to further the development of food production, you know, which is so elemental to our life. We need to have good things to eat, because there's so little, such a small percentage of the world's resources or research which goes into research for let's say, food production. Nearly all the research goes into electronic development, this type of thing, you know. Of course, it really depends which country.
For example, let's say Bolivia.
Well, okay, Bolivia is probably not a typical country in the sense that it all of a sudden has, let's say, a lot of resources, a lot of mineral resources. The price of metals have gone up, and they have lots of gas, and so it permits them to do so many things that other developing countries can't do, because all of a sudden it's very poor, and that change took place just a few years ago, you know, and so they're working at it. But certainly in the case of Bolivia, I would have before now put a lot more emphasis on agricultural development, you know, I think that that's like really very important, and that would have meant a lot of education, because I mean the change that's going to take place, to me, it really depends a lot on education. Those countries that are well developed, they usually have lots of people who are quite educated. And so education is like really very important, and very practical education. Let's say for people who are in the farmer, I'm not saying only university degrees and things like that, but a lot of education to basic people, because when you do that, you can start to produce a lot more, and people can live more happily. Another thing that I would do, then personally, I was like doing this little country of is it Bhutan, where one of the things that they do there is they have an index of happiness. How happy are the people? That's their important factor. In most of our countries, we see how much money people are making, and in that country they see how happy the people are, and so let's try to live as human beings. One is that I believe that the younger generation is going to come up with new solutions that in our generation we did not. Like in our generation, we really messed up the world a lot. So I'm really quite hopeful for the future, but it really means that we get involved in the struggle. I mean, we all asked to play our part, and it's not going to happen by itself, but I believe that there's a certain selection, and it's going to get better.